late game Jax with an Orianna ball on his head could absolutely tear Wales apart if it gets to that situation. But
okay.
Everybody go bot lane!
Right into the fight, Kiaya. Everyone is just disengaging. Okay, it looked way more exciting than it ended up being. Wales is not really done yet. They want to eliminate all the towers. And there we go again. Glory finds another engage, but has he bit off more than he could chew? Yes, he certainly has. He's on 1 HP. He's walking away. He still has his flash. Dang, it's super.
Still has flash. It's all going to be okay.
What a start.
Okay, in the end, Style had to blow his flash and Vet had to blow his heal. So, a couple of summoners traded in the bot side and some turrets cleared. Glory's going to teleport to lane straight away as well. So,
that was a weird one.
Little bit of small advantages gained. Cardi could be quite happy with that and could definitely turn that into something.
But Glory really needs lane priority now for investing his teleport, because if he falls behind here, he is not going to be able to get back to lane early. So Glory doubled down on the early wave, and this could be a punish for Levi. Yes, Glory still has his flash, yes, he has his E to get away, but still, if you push him out of lane, you don't even really need to kill him here. If you just push him out of lane, he's going to be fall so far behind.
Yeah, he's definitely sort of looking for that cheater reset, and the early Hail of the Blades, Hail of Blades trade coming in, but the Ignite returned onto Vet, so lots of damage being traded early on, and just both sides chugging through their pots.
Yeah, really cool little detail there for B, trading aggressively with this Barrier, instantly level 1. Barrier, shortest cooldown summoner, together with Cleanse, I believe, so you can do this quite a few times in laning phase. It's not something you need to sit on for all the... For the whole laning phase just to be safe. You can also use it aggressively. The Darius tried to get him into tower range, not quite able to do so.
Yeah, it was quite interesting seeing how that interaction with the pull works on the Counter-Strike, able to sort of bounce him out, but he has Killer Queen.
What are we doing?
Just gonna sort of send him back. There's too many minions to really commit to it, so I think just easing off the pressure of this Jax, letting Darius set up a good. Okay, not a freeze.
Never mind freeze.
Cleaned up the whole thing.
Just cleared the whole minion wave. So, Barbie fortunately didn't get to complete her sentence there because Nagia was not on the same page.
No, I mean it seems to be sort of held and sort of set up in a slow push at least. So. Doing okay, doing quite comfortable for himself is the Darius.
Yeah, a little bit surprised they didn't try to go for a more aggressive trade there. They were probably scared of a counter gang from Levi, because if you get on top of the enemy Jax there with the Sejuani stun, could be an easy kill.
Okay, we didn't get to see that, but Levi went mid and blew Glory's flash. He did escape though, so not that bad.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I talked about earlier, right? Because now he has to walk back in shame because he blew his TP for no reason level 1, so he's gonna miss quite a few minions and crucial experience to get to level 6. That could be a return gang for Levi, but Levi did invest his flash as well, so no level 6 flash available instantly to punish Glory again.
It's also interesting to see that because of Killer Queen's level 4 range to the top side, he kind of fell a little bit behind Levi in terms of just farming and just couldn't quite get there in time. He's managed to catch up though and stealing away these Raptors, but this bot side is just a lot of damage down onto B. I feel it's just gonna be a bit of trading back and forth, just trying to mow through these waves as the Sivir and just let it all be fine from there.
Yeah, but it seems like Sivir Ash is actually winning these early trades for now. Really nice kiting from Nagia, getting out of the range of the E stun there, and so far it seems like he's on top of the matchup, but Kiaya is also able to just stand in there, just farm, he's not too perturbed by this counter matchup so far. Not sure how it turns level 6, because of course Darius level 6 is one scary champion to play against.
Yeah, I assume it's going to sort of this is going to be a little bit more even than some of the other ones, because Jax is a fairly tanky fella on his own merits, but okay, we're going to see this first dragon being taken. Killer Queen's lurking, but I don't really
Lorry just
know
hit
if
6.
this is
Everyone is walking down. This could be the first big clash. And there's Lorry. There's the Chain of Corruption stolen. He's going to go in there on the Varus. Varus is down first blood for the side of Wales. But GAM trying to fight back. That's 1 kill back for Levi. There's another kill. And Vid needs to do all the carrying as B doesn't bring the damage. That's 3 kills for GAM. B desperately trying to chase down his former jungler. But he has to disengage. And that's a 3-for-1 trade plus Dragon for GAM.
Yeah, you just sort of saw it at the end there, those stacks, that Iron Will, that passive from Levi, that Wukong just able to carry him through and stop Vit from really doing the damage necessary, and they walk away with absolutely everything in that fight. It's just a little bit too aggressive to just try and pick up the thing. It's just a bad call, I think, from Glory to try and kill Style and go into that pit when Cardi was just right there as easy pickings, and then some poor target selection, and just, yeah, the 280 carries can't cut through that Wukong with that passive bonus armor, so almost got him there, but airy shield too damn good.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you there. Target selection was a little bit too formulaic, I guess, just going for the ADC. But you have to consider the actual champions involved, and there was Varus before level 6, and there was also Heimerdinger and an Orianna level 6 walking on the other side, so I feel like either of those targets would have been the better choice. Because Heimerdinger, he's a support, but he's not dealing support kind of damage, especially if you walk into his turrets, as Lorry just did there, so a little bit of a blunder for Team Wales, and GAM, for the first time really in this series, getting a kill lead.
Yeah, trapping yourself in the pit thing, just not great. Banana Gear's going for a little walk down the river. He's going to find himself a Levi and a Carti.
Carti does have his ultimate.
Quite yet, but Ghost is blown.
Shockwave was coming up like 2 seconds later. Didn't want to commit it into the Ghost though, but Ghost Forced makes Kiaya's life much easier in lane, and so far the Darius hasn't really done much, so not too impressed with the efforts for Nagia and Killer Queen on the top side so far in this game.
Nothing has really come to it. Now this first Rift Herald is in play, and it's just GAM there first every time. They're going to try and turn onto this Jax. Lots of CC potential. It's
okay, Carti flashing?
Off?
Nagia.
Okay, that's a little bit... He can't get the Q off! So he's just gonna die, and that's a Rift Herald down as Levi never left it.
Oh, that's another one!
Oh.
GAM stomping the top side now as well, and this is what I talked about. Wales' composition is so volatile, it could fall apart if you don't get the early success, and now they're 5-1 down in kills. GAM playing the more consistent style, and what a great counter gang from the side of the mid laner. Not even the jungler, it's just the mid laner walking up.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, the flash... I guess the flash was blown from Nagia earlier, or he just chose not to use it. But just so much damage already coming out from the Soriana, and just absolutely tearing it up. This team from GAM, this wombo combo sort of almost late game team in theory, mid to late game, just off to a commanding lead. And this is such a fed Orianna. She's already well on her way to a Leandris.
And we all know about Carti's Orianna. It's so good. He played it all the time 2020 when he was still on Flash and beat GAM with this Orianna pick in teamfights over and over again. So GAM definitely knows about the strength of this champion, and we've seen whispers, or we've heard whispers about Orianna being better than her presence and pro play would account for, especially as an Annie counter, but I like to see a little bit of Orianna here and there. Very cool champion to follow, especially if you don't see her every single game, which used to be the case, of course, in Season 5.
I have definitely been sick of Orianna before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's been missing for a while now, so it's all okay, it's all fine. Anyway, there's going to be more pressure put mid by Levi, just as Rift out, Killer Queen in the area. And it's also very hard for GAM to really get, for Glory rather, to get things done. He does not have amazing ultimates to steal kind of just that shockwave to work with.
No.
The Jax one's okay, but
Heimerdinger is much better than Shockwave. Shockwave is not great.
I don't know. Either way, I'm not terribly sold on the Donger ult.
Yeah,
Silas,
maybe not the greatest selection of ultimates. Jax is actually not bad. Wukong's can be decent, but Nagia trying to go for a little bit of a chase in top lane. Doesn't have his ghost, doesn't have his flash, so Gaia is safe. I feel like we need to also talk about the jungle matchup, because now we've seen 2 games back-to-back, Wukong against Sejuani, and both times Wukong has gotten the better of the Sejuani. Speaking of Sejuani, finally finding their kill, and that should go to Glory. Hello? Can you please kill? Okay.
There you go, that's one, but it's going to be traded back instantly as Shax makes his way down, and so does Levi. And,
Too greedy.
No.
Yeah, they wanted the kill, so badly wanted the kill to go to the mid lane that they just gave up positioning entirely, wasted too much time, and it's once again a negative kill trade, plus the Dragon to GAM. It's really not coming together in this game for Wales.
No, this is kind of completely falling apart, and it's going to take a big miracle team fight to sort of bring it back. I mean, Darius can do that. He's done in many a game of solo queue, and just trying their best, but they can't quite set it up correctly. And
did he lose the stacks there? Almost looked like he lost the permafrost stacks.
I feel like they just thought the Cyclone would be enough, but I don't. Cyclone's not the Cyclone conversion onto AP isn't very big, and also Glory doesn't have much AP at this stage of the game, so it's just trying to get greedy with the walk away. And
maybe not the greatest Wukong mechanics on the Silas player, because if you want to go full damage, you don't really, especially level 1 Wukong ultimate, you typically don't let it go through the whole time. You just use the knock-up and go through the rest of your spells again. They changed some of the damage profile, so you can actually just use the ultimate, but especially on Silas, I feel like just using the knock-up into your usual spells and your auto attacks would have been the better choice there. Regardless, now Wales is really far behind, finding themselves 3k gold down. And Marby, how can they mount a comeback here?
Alright, I mean, you're looking for the big picks. You're trying to pick off Carti in particular once again, because Soriana is a menace. But if you can stack up as that 5-man unit, I think you can actually do something quite useful. 5-man Shockwave is always something that can ruin something if Glory can get the angle. There's definitely potential in a big 5v5 team fight, but they just need to get there. They also have great pick tools if they can actually land an arrow from B.
Could it be Vid as well later on?
I mean, yeah, 500 CS win condition Ziva is always
it's a classic.
Real.
Yeah,
it exists. It's just a matter of getting him that 500 CS and getting him to those item points, and it's just not quite coming together at this stage. And now they're looking to take down the Darius once again.
And the Darius has been a failure in this match. I wouldn't completely go away from the Darius pick in the future, because I can go better in the next few games, but you probably have to make the first gank work if you ever want to play this Darius again. And just looking back at that first opportunity, they could have chased it more aggressively. They could have looked for Ki, at least burn his TP and his flash. Instead, they just walked away, and ever since, no real opportunity has arisen for Killer Queen, who is paired with 2 melee laners and still hasn't really had any game impact. So Sejuani looking like a little bit of a trap pick.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel, even if it's not so much the pick itself, as it has absolutely had success in other regions, just maybe you want that something a little bit more familiar. They're a bit more familiar with the Wukong, or maybe just, I'm surprised we haven't seen quite as much for Vi. We've seen very little Vi from.
Compared to we could also just pick Spider. Want to go early game.
We could also just pick Spider, but that would go against the unbreakable rule of VCS, which is punish spooks.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's sort of the big issue with spider picks. And, it's just not working. Nothing they do seems to be working. The vision, they're slow on their uptake. They're not rushing the Umbral Glaive for B, so they're not able to try and choke out vision. It's just not coming together.
Yeah, almost every position has an advantage in items now. Maybe the only one who's kind of able to stand up to his counterpart is Vit. A pretty strong point for this Sivir, definitely not enough to carry a team fight yet, but individually he just completed his cull. He's on a good trajectory, just needs the rest of his team to step up, which is kind of funny if we look at this this team setup and everyone was doubting if Vit was good enough. And now Vit is the one actually keeping them in the game, and all the other, especially the top side, faltering for Team Wales. But we've always known that Killer Queen and Glory are pretty streaky players, very feast or famine players. So no surprise there, to be honest.
The famine had to come eventually, and if you're being up a game in a series against one of the other projected top teams, it's not the worst place to have it in the game 2, as long as you can put it back together for game 3. And I mean, look, they tried something a little bit different. They tried something a little bit, quite a bit away from their usual style of play, and it didn't work. I'm not gonna condemn them for trying, but we need to see Killer Queen. We need to see them try and get at least a dragon, because they need to stall out this soul, because Hextech Soul is just too strong to play against. And if they can't delay that, then their only hope really is delaying 5 minutes and then flipping an Elder. And I do not like the chances on that.
So, speaking of that upcoming dragon fight in about 3 minutes, what kind of item breakpoints are we looking for? If we're very optimistic for the side of Wales, another item for Vit, another item for Glory?
Considering Vit already has that Caulfield's Warhammer and has a completed call to work with and sell, I can definitely see that Navori Quickblades coming in time and just sort of trying to get as much pressure down for that dragon fight. I don't think you're going to get much else. Maybe, hopefully Killer Queen can complete an item, maybe B can get his Imperial Mandate finished. But I think your main hope is that Quick Blades is enough and Glory can put that stopwatch to good use. And I've never been impressed with this bargain basement style of Sejuani build where you get the Barmies and then just rush your War Monks. I would much rather see you just commit to a Radiant Virtue early.
I mean, it makes sense into the likes of styles Poke Varus, right? Because you want to absorb the poke and then go back and get healed back up to full HP, kind of nullifying the impact that the poke can have at the start of the fight. So I understand the thinking behind it, but maybe this is not the game where you might have to dive in.
Too squishy.
Yeah, exactly. You're quite squishy there. And we see a bit desperately trying to complete his item, but he's still a little bit away from that. 2.5 minutes on the timer. So he has about 2 minutes more before he has to recall and try for that second item completion. I feel like if they get to Navori, there's about a 20% chance they could win the fight. If they can't get to Navori, I can't see them winning.
Yeah, it's not... It would take a massive fumble, and with this Rift Herald push coming down as well, they're going to keep them absolutely chained under this tower. It's going to make it really hard for them to push into, and they can set traps around these Hextech gates, which would normally let Vit be able to sort of recall a little bit later. Hello, there's a shockwave.
GAM might have overextended there. Oh, that's a good kill. Following up that, Sejuani was not very tanked, but now Glory looking for his opportunity. He's flashing in there. He's in here. Can he find anything? Good delay, and now Vit on the chase. But no kill goes down, and Team Wales just fading away. Good kill for Style, and Vit in no man's land. That's one more fight going in the favor of GAM. Team Wales, they were persuaded to go for the fight, even though they didn't have the items. Nice ghost.
Yeah, GAM just trying to force it before Nagia could get those quick blades. If he had them, that fight would have been so different, but just shy of crit cloak and a combined cost. And yeah, just fighting it as early as possible, just trying to make them uncomfortable. Killer Queen just melts. He has only health. He has no resistances. Glory had picked up a pretty bad ultimate.
He had
and
Jax,
wasn't able to
but
get a
the way he played
Yeah,
the Jax
Jax
ult was
ultimate,
really bad because he had the Jax ultimate and then he was in the middle of 4 people. So if you ulted there, the Jax ultimate would have been huge, would have given him so many resistances, so much damage. But instead he used the Jax ult on a single target and then went into 4 targets. So some big question marks on Glory Silas, I feel like, after this game. He had multiple misuses of different ultimates in this game.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of a misunderstanding on these uncommon ultimates, because normally there are sort of ultimates you're like, ah yes, I will always pick Silas into these and always steal these ones, but you don't really have that on this team. Again, Shockwave is probably the one you're most familiar with as the mid laner, but just can't quite put it together, and now full control over this bot side river for GAM. It's up in 2 seconds, and that's going to disappear. Wales can't get in, so they're gonna just try and get Baron instead.
But so late.
Slow on response.
So late. They just they missed their opportunity for any counterplay. Now they're just gonna walk away in shame because they just gave up a soul with no fight.
Just gave up. They can't fight now. Not really.
They're not heeding you. They want to fight. I mean, if they lose, it's a professional surrender, but one more chance. That's Darius down. Very easy kill for Levi. The Baron is right there. They just need one more kill for the Baron. Kiaya is on the chase. That's a lot of damage from Kiaya. And that should be all she wrote for the game, as Kiaya is chasing down yet another target. Lori with no impact whatsoever. That's a good Jax performance from the side of Kiaya. As I said, the Baron is right there. That should be game.
Yeah, that's just absolutely game. There's nothing they can... Wales just give it up. They just give up everything. They don't even attempt to push into the river. They don't even attempt to flip for the Baron. And on the cross side, they're just scattered. They don't know what they're doing. I think, yeah, it's kind of a, alright, we tried this funny thing, it didn't work, and you can't engage onto a Wukong like that. It doesn't work. And like, because of that, you had no right to even turn around and threaten a re-engage. You just had to run. You just had to leave.
That Kiaya ultimate damage is insane to me. That was like 300 on one button press? Wow, yeah. Okay.
Jax needs a little bit of a look in it. I don't like this new ultimate. It does too much.
Yeah, it's quite scary, definitely. But I want you to cast your mind back to the days of luxury. I know it's a painful memory for the most part, but luxury.
Which version?
Winter luxury, when they went 6-1 in round 1, #1 team of the league, or #2 behind Cerberus. They proceeded to get tilted and lose every series for like a month straight. As Nagia just goes down, who cares? So do you think those tendencies are things that Killer Queen and Glory still carry? Or Killer Queen, because Glory wasn't on that team.
Glory wasn't on that lineup, but no, I feel like a lot of the deaths from Glory, at least, were a little bit of I'm trying to save the game, and there's some of it was a little bit silly. Some, like the ones in mid lane where they just tried too hard to force onto Cardi, but yeah, I don't know. A little bit of misplay, just a little bit of not quite getting everything together for this game and not quite being comfortable. It doesn't help that B was absolutely invisible as well. Nagia went for this pick with the Darius and that didn't work either. It's kind of just a full team collapse, so I'm not gonna say it's a luxury angle.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for the next game, because this one was a stomp in GAM's favor. They strike back with a blue side victory.